The Galactic Council chambers fell silent as Ambassador Elena Davies stepped onto the speaking platform. Around her, representatives from 47 species watched with expressions ranging from mild interest to open contempt. The humans had requested this emergency session after the brutal attack on their mining colony in the Kepler system, where 3,000 civilians had been killed without warning. "Honored members," Elena began, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. "We come before you today not seeking vengeance, but justice. The unprovoked assault on New Haven Colony represents a clear violation of the Galactic Accords." A series of clicking sounds erupted from the Vex delegation. Their translator rendered the noise as laughter. High Counselor Thrix rose from his crystalline seat, his forearms gesturing dismissively at the human ambassador. "The soft skins speak of justice." Thrix's metallic voice rang through the chamber. "Your species has been in space for barely 2 centuries. You understand nothing of true power or the natural order." The Korgan representative, General Vox, slammed his massive fist against his console. "Humans are prey animals who stumbled into the stars. That you survived this long is mere luck." Elena maintained her composure as murmurs of agreement rippled through the assembly. "We ask only for mediation and reparations for the families of the deceased. Earth seeks no conflict." This time, the entire Vex delegation burst into their mechanical laughter. "Earth seeks no conflict," Thrix mocked. "Perhaps because Earth lacks the strength to wage it. Your pathetic vessels would not last a day against a true war fleet." The Zephyrian ambassador, Lord Kess, stood gracefully. "The human request is noted and dismissed. The Vex were within their rights to claim that system. If humans cannot defend their holdings, they should not venture beyond their homeworld." Elena felt the familiar burn of anger in her chest, but her training held firm. "Then this council refuses to uphold the very accords that bind our civilizations." "Together, the strong take what they will," General Vox growled. "The weak endure what they must. This is the way of the galaxy." As the vote was called, Elena watched 46 species cast their denial. Only the Altarians abstained, their ancient representative offering her a subtle nod of sympathy. The formal rejection echoed through the chamber with crushing finality. Elena gathered her documents slowly, allowing the silence to stretch. When she finally spoke, her words carried a cold weight that made several delegates shift uncomfortably. "This council has spoken. Earth's plea for justice has been denied. Very well. Let it be recorded that humanity sought peace through proper channels." She paused, meeting the gaze of each major delegate. "And let it also be recorded that this council chose war instead." Thrix's mechanical laugh rang out again. "Empty threats from an empty species. Run back to your little blue world, human. Perhaps in a few millennia, you will have evolved beyond your cowardice." Elena smiled then, and something in that expression made the laughter die in the chamber. Evolution, High Counselor Thrix, is indeed a remarkable process. We humans have a saying, "Speak softly and carry a big stick." Today, we spoke softly. She turned and walked toward the exit, her footsteps echoing in the sudden quiet. At the threshold, she stopped without turning around. "Admiral Knox, you may begin the demonstration." High above the council world, space itself seemed to ripple. The first human dreadnought emerged from quantum fold like a leviathan breaching an ocean of stars. And another, and another. The massive vessels materialized in perfect formation, their obsidian hulls drinking in starlight, until they appeared as hungry voids against the cosmos dot within minutes. The sky above the council chambers darkened as though a solar eclipse had begun. But this was no natural phenomenon. 300 warships, each one larger than the greatest vessels in the galactic fleet, had positioned themselves between the planet and its primary star, On the ground, delegates rushed to viewports and communication stations. Panic spread through the chambers as the artificial twilight deepened. The human ships were not merely blocking the sun, they were displaying the sheer scope of Earth's hidden military might. "Impossible," Thrix whispered, his mechanical voice cracking with disbelief. "Our intelligence networks found no evidence of such a fleet." Admiral Knox's voice filled the chamber through the communications array, calm and professional. "Honored delegates, please remain calm. This is merely a peaceful demonstration of human engineering capabilities. We have positioned our fleet to create optimal shade for your deliberations." General Vox was hammering at his console, trying to raise the planetary defense grid. His face paled as the reports came in. "They have ships surrounding our colonies. Hundreds of them. Our outer systems report similar blockades." Elena had stopped in the doorway, but had not left. Now she turned back to face the assembly, her expression serene. "How?" Lord Kess demanded, his usual composure shattered. "Where? Did you hide such a force?" "We didn't hide it," Elena replied simply. "We built it. While you were busy mocking human weakness, we were busy proving that evolution never stops. Did you truly believe a species capable of interstellar travel would remain defenseless?" The Altarian representative, ancient and wise, spoke for the first time. "The humans played the long game. They allowed us to underestimate them while they prepared." "Correct," Elena confirmed. "For 50 years, we have listened to your condescension. We have endured your dismissal of human life and dignity. We have watched you divide the galaxy between yourselves, as though we were irrelevant." The lights in the chamber flickered as the artificial eclipse deepened. Outside, emergency sirens began to wail. "We are not the same species that first stumbled into space," Elena continued. "We have learned. We have adapted. Most importantly, we have prepared. The attack on New Haven Colony was not just an act of aggression against humanity. It was a test of our resolve." Admiral Knox's voice returned, cutting through the rising panic. "All planetary defense systems have been temporarily disabled. This is not an act of war, merely a precautionary measure. We await further orders from Ambassador Davies." Thrix struggled to speak, his mechanical voice stuttering. "What do you want?" Elena walked back to the speaking platform, her footsteps now the only sound in the chamber. "Justice, High Counselor, the same thing we asked for an hour ago. Full reparations for New Haven Colony, a formal apology from the Vex Empire, and a guarantee that human holdings will be respected henceforth." "And if we refuse?" General Vox asked, though his bluster had completely evaporated. Elena's smile was gentle, but her eyes were steel. "Then we will be forced to conclude that the Galactic Council is no longer a functional governing body. We will withdraw from all treaties and accords, and we will implement our own interpretation of galactic law." The chamber erupted in frantic whispers and panicked communications. Above them, the human fleet held position with mechanical precision, their massive forms blotting out the stars. "The vote will be retaken," the council chairman announced, his voice barely steady. "All in favor of granting the human petition for justice?" This time, 47 hands rose in unanimous agreement. Elena nodded graciously. "Thank you. Admiral Knox, you may restore natural lighting to the system." As the human fleet began to fold space and disappear, sunlight gradually returned to the council chambers. But the balance of power in the galaxy had shifted forever. The humans had taught the universe a valuable lesson. Never confuse patience with weakness, and never, ever, mock a species that has spent centuries learning the art of war while preparing for peace.